this video had to be redone twice. One, because it wasn't recording my audio. Secondly, because Activision came out with a surprise update, which made some of my points probably age like milk. So I just had to make some points more important than others and move things around. Yeah, it's kind of annoying. Alright, so I'm not a big fan of Battle Royale games. I don't like some of them. I actually hate some of them. But Warzone is honestly a really fun mode. It's extremely fun. I find myself coming back to it sometimes. It's not. I like multiplayer more, but Warzone is an extremely enjoyable mode. And these are just my opinions on what they can do. And yeah, that's kind of it. Alright, I want to talk about limited time modes, LTMs, or even modes that could stay. And my first mode, which will sound crazy as hell and it's going to take most of the video to explain, is Plunder 50 v 50 v 50. Alright, I know what you're thinking. What the hell? I think this would be a great idea. One, because Warzone is already 150 players, so that would just complement it. And two, because Plunder is such a fast-paced mode that I really want to see what a gigantic game of it would be like. Like, just teams going at each other, just beating each other constantly. It would be really fun. What I can compare it to very nicely, and I think I'm gonna use this as a point in my later discussion about this, is Blood Money from Battlefield Hardline. Now, if you've never played it, probably because Battlefield Hardline is not a very popular game, and you know, it's a spin-off game, it's never gonna be that popular. But if you've never played it, let me give you a rundown of Battlefield Hardline's Blood Money. There's basically an objective in the middle of the map. This has money. You have to capture it, and after you capture it, you get an amount of money, and you have to take this money back to base. So it's basically like Plunder, you know, you do stuff, and then you bring it back to the helicopter drop-off point, whatever, cash deposit points. That's what they were named. Alright, so how do I think they could do this? I think they should just split the map into 3 sections. 3 equal sections, right? Each section will be one of the team's sections, like their territory, their spawn point, their safe area, whatever you want to call it. It's gonna be controlled by that team. And then you might be saying, well, isn't that gonna be super campy and nobody's gonna leave spawn and they're just gonna sit in their area, snipe people outside of it, and you know, get the money from that area? Well, yeah, but there's a really easy way to fix this. So, I think one of the things they should do is make a gigantic, like, circle around the middle of the map. Just a circle and plunging the middle of the map, just keeping it inside. And this middle ground will be where all the fighting is done. Because in this middle ground, it will be the only place where you could pick up contracts. You'll get a 2 times multiplier for your money. You will get the most money here. There will be the most, like, caches to loot and stuff. You know, that stuff. And there will only be 1 helicopter drop-off point. So what I'm saying is, you have to fight in this one area for the money. This is where you have to rush and fight, and it's gonna be an equal distance from everyone. So it's always gonna be an area of constant, you know, fighting. But it's gonna be giving you a great reward, which you can then either risk and quickly get it away, or you can take your time and go back to base, but you risk getting shot on the way, or you risk getting shot when you're in the middle, because there's only going to be 1 helicopter drop-off point, money drop-off point in the middle. I think this works because if you have a little bit of, if you have like reduced money in your area and in the team controlled areas, if you have like not as much loot on the ground, there's not gonna be as many campers because there's just a bit of loot on the ground. But if you go in this middle section, there's a lot of loot, but it's really dangerous. So what do? You may go in the middle and then run back. So this gives people an incentive to hold the areas. Because you can, honestly, I think it would be a good idea to give them another times multiplier if they attack an enemy area. If they steal money from an enemy area, they should get another times multiplier. So, like a 3 times multiplier or something, because, it gives you incentive to protect the area, it gives you incentive to rush, and it gives you incentive to play tactically while still, rushing and not just staying in one place. It gives you incentive to do more, to go around the map, to, get in those gunfights, or help people get out of those tricky situations. You should also spawn in more vehicles in, like, the safe areas. I hate calling them safe areas because everybody will just call me a camper. But spawn in more vehicles so you can get to that middle ground and rush it and attack. And I think it would just be a fun mode of just 3 teams going at each other. I think what they could do with it as well is make the top earners select 3 from each team. That would mean you go against 2 teams. So there's 6 top earners. I'm pretty sure that's 1 more than normal plunder. And, more money means more need to, kill. The bigger teams need more money, a bigger money limit. I say, you make the money limit for the overtime 3 million and not 1 or 2 million, because there are bigger teams, more people to take in that money, more squads. And yeah, I think that's kind of it. Just a big attack mode with a middle ground where you get most of the stuff, and other ways to get into the enemy's territory, and attack them that way and strike home. But that's a high risk, high reward situation. Alright, my next mode is still a plunder mode. I'm taking the whole video talking about plunder because I can't talk about Juggernaut Royale because they're gonna add it tomorrow. Right, next one would be Zone Plunder. Ooh. I know, it sounds weird, but hear me out. Plunder is a really mobile game mode, and it's really nice how they let you just be anywhere on the map at any time. I like that sandbox feeling. You don't get that sandbox feeling anywhere else in Battle Royale, so that's why I think this should be a limited time mode for 1 week and 1 week alone. Or, add it like, don't keep it there forever. You can add it like between 2 weeks or something like that, but it's not a mode you keep forever. It's a fun little gimmick that I thought of. So just it's plunder with zones. That's all I need to explain. But I like plunder. But just think about it. In most of the engagements you could get into in plunder, you won't get into because your team is just defending one area. If you drop in at the quarry area, you're probably not just gonna say, hey, so I'm gonna go on foot to the prison area. No, you usually, if you drop into that area, that's the area you are gonna be fighting over. That's the area where you're gonna be getting the money, where you're gonna be calling a cash deposit in. And when you call a cash deposit in, if you get killed, you spawn back in at the cash deposit, and you attack it again, and you keep fighting over that cash deposit with different teams. It's hectic, and you don't get around the map much. So what I'm saying is, if there's a zone, or a slower zone, because we don't need a super fast moving zone that can just force everyone out of that feeling of sandboxness that plunder gives you. No, if there's a zone just moving in, it would make plunder a lot more fun, just because there's that feeling of, you're never just gonna get stuck on overtime because all the enemies are hiding away, getting their monies from, like crates that they open, and not actually fighting. And especially in blood money, this really hurts blood money when you can't I keep saying blood money and plunder. They're the same thing, but blood money, you get more money from kills. And it's especially hurtful in that one when you can't find anyone to kill and they're all just hiding or they're camping a catch deposit. How would they do this? Because there's infinite respawns. Well, I don't think they should keep infinite respawns. I think everyone should have some lives, okay? I don't think if they're gonna have a zone, just don't give people that many lives, because, the zone's gonna keep closing in, and if there's 150 players just in the little circle just fighting over the like $5, it's not gonna be fun. So I think they should have either a system like this. I have two systems I would like to propose. I know nobody cares, but this would be my first system. So you get one gulag, right? And if you deposit $45,000, you can get another gulag, or at least have 10 or no, just give people free gulags, and if they deposit more money, they can get more gulags. If they don't deposit, then they don't get any gulags, and you have to redeploy them, right? And make money more scarce, because if you just get 45,000 right off the bat, it's not gonna be that fun. Plus, 1 million will be easier to reach when you're in those final zones, because guess what? You will be fighting more players in more close quarters engagements. So, yeah, that's zone plunder. Part 1. Part 2 would be, what if you just, gave everybody 10 lives? Or 9 lives, so if we're like cats. Haha, funny me. Oh, I deserve a clap for that funny joke I made. No, I don't. But, give everyone 9 lives, or 10 lives, or whatever amount of lives, and if you die, that's it. You don't get a gulag. If you consume all those lives, you don't get a gulag. You don't get anything. That's the end of your 10 lives. You usually don't use more than 10 lives in plunder anyway. I'm pretty sure that's kind of it. But, that's a fun little mode that I think could be in for like a week, and then they remove it because everyone hates it. Alright, now let me talk about the elephant in the room, and I'm only gonna make this brief because they're adding it tomorrow. But yesterday, I made this video yesterday, like I fully described everything, and I made this yesterday. And I was talking about Juggernaut Royale and what I wanted them to add with it, or how I wanted them to make it. I just wanted this to be very clear. This was my opinion from yesterday, and this is gonna age like goddamn milk when it comes out. But I wanted Juggernaut Royale to be a 50v50 or a 50v50v50 mode like my plunder. Not because I'm a pussy and I rely on other people to get my kills, but if it's gonna be just, normal battle royale, then it's not gonna be, I'm not saying it's not gonna be fun, but it's just gonna feel like normal battle royale. But instead of the cases that give you, loadouts, you get a jug, so it's just gonna feel like battle royale, but with cheap deaths. It's just gonna feel like battle royale with more RNG based deaths. If it was, I was thinking of making it like a Warzone Rumble, on the Warzone Rumble maps, and it would just be like a capture the flag mode where, the jug would be in the middle, and you'd have to your team would have to cap it and bring it back to base, and the enemy team would have to kill you, and, that would have been a fun mode. Not even Warzone Rumbles maps, because, they're too small. But damn, if I don't think that Juggernaut Royale, if it's gonna be a 3-team mode or a 4-team, heck, even make it a 5-team mode, I don't think it's gonna be fun. It's just gonna be battle royale, cheap deaths, and just, the jugs, it takes a while to kill them, so it's not gonna be fun. It's gonna feel like RNG. You're gonna feel cheated off your kills most of the time. It's Warzone, but worse. So if they made it 50v50 or something bigger, I wish they do that. I hope it's not gonna age like milk from me saying they're gonna make it a free team mode, a team of three mode, and they actually make it like 50v50. But my fears are kind of big about this. I don't know. I'm not a fan of a big mode where just random people get drugs. You know, and I've had this in Infected, and it's annoying. I don't want this in a battle royale game where everyone sweats their ass off. Anyway, guys, that's the end of the video. Thanks for watching.